Hey guys, what's up? Bisectatron here from Clash of Clans Manual, here with an interesting video, and in this one I may have stumbled across a new way to deploy hogs at Town Hall 9. Town Hall 8 for that matter too. I call it sprinkled hogs, and you guys may have seen it on smaller levels, but I don't think anyone's actually done it on as systematically as I did it on this attack, and I think it could be used on certain bases because you see these spread out bases a lot, these anti 3-star bases, similar ones to these where there's a bunch of spots for double giant bombs. So I think this strategy could be a really effective one at Town Hall 9, and this is a very high level base, but I just destroyed it. And basically, sprinkled hogs is where you put basically use your golems as giants. Like it's like a surgical hog attack, but you're using your golems as giants, and you're using uh, one hog per defense. So just looking at this base, um, these point defense right like this are all isolated. Let me draw in the Teslas too real quick. Um, Tesla there, and then here and here. But including those Teslas, all that point defense is isolated. And by isolated, I mean there's no other point defense covering it besides itself. So if I drop, it'll make a little more sense in a minute. If I drop a golem, we'll use this for golem, a golem here and a golem here, and then just for that Tesla, because it's not going to be shooting the golem, a giant for that Tesla. All that point defense, including the archer tower right back here, they're all going to be shooting at either the golems or the giant. So I can use one hog for each of those point defense because no other point defense outside of that area is in range of those defenses. So like this cannon, the archer queen, this expo, and this cannon are all out of range of all these defenses. The expo kind of was in range, but I didn't quite see that. It wasn't a big deal. It took out like one hog, but for the most part, all of the point defense on that section in the gray section I circled is out of range of any other point defense. So if everything in that section is being tanked for, you can use one hog on each one of those defenses. And that's a really economic way to take out that entire side of the base, a ton of point defense. So that's what I do. And then you get double duty out of the golems. That's what I love about this attack strategy. You get double duty because I bust these walls right here. Now the golems are going to reroute on into the middle of the base, and they're also going to tank for the CC troops, the queen, all that stuff. Going to drop a jump and then a rage. Obviously, behind them I have my king, my queen, witches, a few more wizards, making their way in. And the great thing about this is these point defense, which would have flanked my kill squad, are now all down. All of it gets taken out. So this way, there's nothing shooting from the outside into my kill squad. Nothing that's going to take out the witches or the queen, which lag behind, because they're usually exposed to those flanking defenses. But now everything is directly in front of my kill squad. The golems are going to soak up all the damage. You really get the full use of your golems, and there's nothing that's going to be not targeting your golems because all the defenses are coming from one side now that you took out all the peripheral defenses with your sprinkled hogs. So that's what I really like about this strategy. Once my kill squad enters the main core compartment of this base, I'm just going to two-finger the hogs on in here. And like I should have made this more clear, a hog for each defense originally. So about 8 hogs, just one on each defense. And the great thing about those hogs is after they take out the defensive building, they go on to trigger giant bombs, traps. Not in this attack as much, but in other attacks they can really trigger some giant bomb possibilities and some traps. So it's really nice. They serve double duty as well. But anyway, my main group of hogs coming in here, two-finger drop, and then I'm going to heal it where they bunch up as they make their way around here. And here I have heals, but basically the rest of the base gets taken up on my kill squad just because I get the full use of my golems, nothing flanking my kill squad. The witches keep spawning skeletons. The heroes are the last things to get targeted. So it really, these sprinkled hogs, I don't know if it's new. I've seen people do it, like 1 or 2, but really on this large scale of like 8, they really help. They can take out these defenses, this point defense, and make it so your kill squad doesn't have to worry about moving its way into the base, but still having things shooting at it from behind so the witches don't get taken out, stuff like that. So we'll take a look at the attack on my main account, Clash of Clans. So I'm not going to splice it, I apologize, so it's going to have to load real quick. But I'll bring up that attack and we'll take a look. Okay, I apologize for the war log. We've lost way too many recently. I think too many Town Hall 10s, and then a lot of our 9s aren't getting the 3-star. So that's a whole nother story we're not going to go into. But looking at this attack, I'll fast forward to when it starts. See, I had almost a minute to spare. It's a pretty quick attack. So golems go down, everything's being tanked for. I bring that one giant, the tank for the Tesla, and the giant will last long enough for the Tesla to go down. And now one hog for each defense. And notice, none of those hogs are really being shot at. I know that Expo did get one of my hogs, but besides that, no hogs are being shot at. They're just free to take out these defenses. And unlike in a surgical hog attack, the giants don't die because it's golems that are tanking. So that's one thing to note. And then they go on into these possible double giant bomb spots. It was a second attack. I knew where everything was, but had there been double giant bombs there, it would have been even better because they moved their way in and they, can trigger traps. So anyway, wall breakers, the golems reroute back onto the middle. Queen, witches, and look, everything's locked onto the golems. There's nothing in these compartments here or up in here because those would be the things shooting at my witches, and they're not there because the hogs took them out. So witches are free to spawn skeletons. The queen sitting back takes out the dragon, and everything's focused on the skeletons, the golem, all the stuff it should be focused on. So the king is free to take out the enemy heroes and making my way into the middle of the base. And you want to do a two-finger drop, not surgical on the back end, because you don't have that much troop space to work with. So you want to keep those hogs all in a big pack and let them all be healed at once. You don't want to thin them out too much with surgical. So just a two-finger drop, letting them make their way around. As you can see, the king setting off another giant bomb, double giant bomb set in there. And then I'm going to have my last heal for these hogs right up here as they start to slow down again. Queen is still up. Both witches are up. They didn't take the jump spell, unfortunately, so they're caught up on a wall, but have both my witches, almost all my wizards, king, queen. I'm going to have a solid amount of hogs after this raid's over. So as you can see, this is the power of the sprinkled hogs on the front end. So if you can get a group of point defense isolated, then you can destroy it, and you can be basically one-for-one trade with your hogs because you need those golems anyway. You're already going to be using them to get into the base, deal with the CC troops, the queen. So if you just are able to get that section of the base, you can do one-for-one trades with those hogs, and that can be detrimental to base. It can just destroy a base like it did here. So I urge you guys to practice with this. Use this strategy because I'm going to be experimenting with it. I want to know what you guys think of it. So like I said, get that section of the base that's isolated that no other point defense can target. Make sure everything's shooting at those golems. If it's a first attack, beware of Teslas. And once all that's locked onto your golems, then you can do a one-for-one hog trade and two-finger, the rest of your hogs in after your kill squad goes down. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bisectatron out.